canister containing air has a volume of 85 centimeters cubed and a pressure of 1.45 atm. When the temperature is 310 K, what is the pressure when the volume is increased to 180 centimeters cubed and temperature is reduced to 280 K? Okay, so the first thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna look at the equation, right? And I'm gonna explain every variable in here. So you have volume, pressure, and temperature. It's important to know that each variable has two different versions. We have the first version of the equation, pressure 1, volume 1, temperature 1, and then we have the second versions. Or not second version, but like the counterparts. So I've went ahead and highlighted each of the words here and their counterpart, or each of the variables. So the first thing I highlighted was the volume right here, it having 85 centimeters cubed, that's volume 1. Pressure 1 being 1.45 atm, and temperature being 310 K, excuse me. And then let's see, we have to figure out what pressure 2 is, because it says, what is the pressure? So that already gives it away. We don't know pressure 2. We're solving for that. And we know what volume 2 is because it's here. When volume is increased to 180 centimeters cubed, and the temperature, so temperature 2 is reduced to 280 K. So we just go ahead and plug those in right here. So I've went ahead and done that already. Again, here's the equation. If you forgot it, pressure 1 times volume 1 over temperature 1 equals pressure 2 times volume 2 over temperature 2. So let's get into the specifics. What are the variables specifically? Volume 1 equals 85 centimeters cubed. Pressure 1 equals 1.45 psi. Temperature 1 is 310 K. Okay? Now let's get on to the second versions. Pressure 2, we don't know pressure 2, so I put a question mark there, and that's what it's going to look like in the equation. Volume 2 is 180 centimeters cubed, and temperature 2 is 200 K. So each of these variables, or like each of the numbers here, are going to be plugged into the equation. Alright? So I've gone ahead and done that as well. So I plugged in every single equation. Again, here's the actual equation. Pressure 1 times volume 1 over temperature 1 equals pressure 2 times volume 2 over temperature 2. So it's really important to keep this equation in mind when you're plugging it in. So 1.45 times 85 over 310 equals, that's a question mark, times 180 times 280. So you might think I can just simply multiply across and solve for the question mark, but in reality I realized that you must have the abbreviations next to each number to signify that that's the correct variable. Okay, so for the pressure, it's 1.45 psi times 85 centimeters cubed over 310 K times the question mark times 180 centimeters cubed times over 280 K. So what you do for this is you simply multiply across. You cross cancel. Okay? That's how you'd solve for this. And of course, I've gone ahead and done that as well. So what I did was I well, once you finally multiply across, the top line here is the result of that. Okay, so 1.45 psi times 85 centimeters cubed times 280K equals the question mark 180 centimeters cubed times 310K. Okay, so you might be thinking, how do you solve for the question mark? The way I did it, I divided the other two variables away from the question mark to isolate it, similar how you would do with x in algebraic equation, and I divided it there as well. What this did was it not only isolated the question mark, but it's able to cancel out the abbreviations. So the centimeter cubed right here would be canceled out, and the k's right here would be canceled out. And the next line is the result of that. So you have the question mark equaling 1.45 psi times 85, regular 85 times 280, and 180 times 310 at the bottom. So it's almost as if the abbreviations were never even there. So at this point, you can just do simple multiplication. What I did is I multiplied the top two, right here, 85 times 280. I got 23,800 over 55,800, right? And then what I did next was I simply, I got this 0.426, and I multiply it times 1.45 psi, and then I got 0.618 equaling the question mark. So if you don't remember what the question mark is, the question mark was actually pressure 2. So pressure 2 equals 0.68 psi. And that's how you solve for this. Oh, and it's me, Mr. I'm Mikey.